Progress.
I love the name, Chickadees.
Chickadees.
Yeah, it's a good name.
It's a super clever name. Obviously not the most important piece of what they're doing, but it's just catchy.
Yeah, we will be cheering all 6 teams on, and we met a team yesterday, so their bio also on idahonews.com. But very exciting stuff, and those kids definitely have a bright future ahead, I can tell.
I think so.
My goodness.
Yeah.
All right, well, this morning might be a little bit bright, but we'll lose it. Cloud cover coming in more, probably one of those gray days, more clouds and sunshine. And yeah, we have some wet weather looking to move in as we continue through the day. I would say mostly later this morning and into the afternoon, possibly leading into the evening though too. So heads up if you're going to be out and about on this Wednesday night. Futurecast shows us what's going on. You can see the change in the jet stream that we've had over the last 24 hours or so that's really pushed that ridge of high pressure back out and away from us. So it's now instead allowing that storm door to kind of open back up from the northwest, storm after storm. We've got a couple of them lining up that will swing through off the British Columbia coastline and down into the Pacific Northwest. This first one going to bring a mix of rain and snow to us here in the valleys with snow in the mountains. And then as this shifts off, we'll dry out for a couple of days, but looking long term, we also have something brewing for the weekend. Timing and exact impacts of this one a little less certain at this point, but we know that with this pattern setting up, it's certainly going to mean at least some more unsettled weather in the 7-day forecast for us here in the Gem State and much of the Northwest region. Speaking of that system on Saturday and Sunday, it's coming accompanied with a cold front that will drop temperatures down to 33 degrees next Monday. We were talking about it earlier. The last day this happened, Brian actually guessed it right, was back in December of last year. It was December 28th, the last day we were at or below 33 degrees. So we're going to be hovering right around that freezing point by early next week. So it's going to send us back in time, definitely below average for a change. We've spent much of the entire month of January and into February above average. So definitely some changes coming our way. Speaking of today's storm, though, a couple of winter weather advisories that you see here in purple. In general, these areas will see 1 to 3 inches of snow, but up to locally 7 inches along the Owyhee range and up to 5 in parts of the upper Weiser Basin, some of those hardest hit spots. Obviously, the mountain peaks, those highest peaks, could see a little bit more accumulation than that, or that's at least the hope with this storm system. But you can see it's pretty well defined. The leading edge of this, again, just kind of starting to see some light flurries popping up along the Idaho-Oregon border there. But the core of this, again, I think holds off until the later part of this morning or early hours in the afternoon. It does look to be a pretty widespread storm system right now, sending snow all the way through North Idaho, eastern Washington, and northeast Oregon. So as this thing moves closer in, yes, we are expecting some snow, or at least snowflakes here in the Treasure Valley. I think this could potentially start off as snow, but if it's still warm enough, when the precip starts up, maybe it will be rain, but then transitioning to snow or a wet snow, possibly that rain-snow mix, once that front drives through and cools temperatures down a little bit. All snow for the mountains through the afternoon and into the evening. And yes, as we get into the 4 or 5 o'clock hour, still going to be dodging some showers. Some of this might change back over to rain, but overall, just count on some periods of snow, periods of rainfall as the temperatures bounce up and down behind that cold front. But you'll be kind of dodging this wet weather or the unsettled pattern all the way through the evening. So take the umbrella with you tonight. We're dry by tomorrow. This is a one-day system, kind of zips in and then zips right out, but we do have something else brewing for Friday that mostly is going to impact our northern zones, but we'll keep an eye to make sure we don't have a brief period of some snowflakes here in the Treasure Valley by Friday afternoon. As far as forecasted snow totals in the lower valleys, kind of that 0 to 1 inch ballpark. I think there's going to be some areas that see little to no accumulation, snow levels riding a little bit high, mainly the upper Treasure Valley. That could include us here in Ada County. Out toward the lower Treasure Valley, as you get a little bit more west, we'll see the potential for up to 1 inch, but again, it's going to vary depending on where you live. Foothills could see 1 to 4, so if you're a little higher up in elevation, plan on a little more snow where those snow levels are high, or a little bit lower. All right, up in the mountains, hopefully we're seeing more. Bogus Basin, I think, has the potential to see between 5 and 8 inches between today and tonight. Brundage 3 to 6, Tamarack 2 to 5. We hope that they all come out on the higher end of the spectrum, hopefully surprising us even more for today and tonight. We need that snow in the mountains. So planning out your Valentine's Day, if you're headed to brunch this morning, maybe a stray shower a little bit later on in the morning, but I think you're good to go through the morning commute and a little bit beyond that. But watching for that wet weather to roll in if you're headed to happy hour or possibly a dinner out there this evening. Anything else you've got going, the earlier the better. Hikes in the foothills, taking the dog for a walk. Get it done early. We will have temps briefly jumping into the low 40s, but plan for 30s for most of the day. It'll be breezy on the backside of all of this. Tomorrow will dry out for Friday and into the first part of Saturday, but something else brewing for the weekend, and it really does knock those temperatures down from the low 50s Saturday to the low 30s by Tuesday. So big changes coming our way. We get the winter weather now, winter-like temperatures by early next week.
And you said something that's been as rare as saying the word snow. Brian was right.
Ooh, yeah, that's very true. I think I've